Three, two, one. Hello, everybody.
Welcome back.
This is Pages of New England. I am Zach.
I'm Joe.
This is episode number 6.
Crazy.
We hope you all had a happy Christmas.
Yes, happy holidays.
Yes, and
You
hope
know.
you have a happy New Year because that's
Yeah.
going to be coming up.
Tomorrow is New Year's Eve.
Yes, it is.
It's crazy.
Yep.
Sunday is the first day of a new year.
Do you remember being like a kid-ish 2012, 2016 range, being like, I could never imagine 2023, 2024?
I don't know. In 2012, Zach, I was 19, and in 2016, I was 4 years older than that. So 23.
Yeah.
So yes, actually, I couldn't. Truthfully, I didn't see myself living past 27. So you're
But-
right.
But like in a society way, when you look at how things were then, to try and imagine what
Oh, I would have never.
2023
I definitely would have never thought things could have gotten this bad. That's for damn sure. Like in 2012, I would have never thought that within, the next 10 years, we go through a pandemic, a complete shutdown. We're on the process of we're pretty much at a recession at this point. Like there's a charge for freaking eggs, for crying out loud. Like,
which I find funny because we've been in this recession for actually like a year.
we've really been in it since 2019 when it all started.
When Trump was in office, economics were good. It really was until Biden took office, and then things start to really go.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no opinion on politics. I gave up. Like when it was Hillary versus Trump, everyone's like, "Who are you gonna vote for? Who are you gonna vote for?" I was like, honestly, I don't want to vote because it's like the lesser of two evils. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it wasn't. There was no like, and I mean, I'm a part of the OG Obama campaign.
Which
Like
I find hilarious because Obama was not like Obama was in my opinion, the biggest like show
yeah,
that
but
we've ever had.
But you also have to understand that he was in office for 8 years. That was like my entry to adulthood,
Yeah.
So what he was offering, I had no knowledge of how it was before, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it being post, I
you
was
just finally have this black president doing shit.
correct, and it was like people were listening, I saw the outcome of it. And even now, most people, I don't want to say respect, but let's be honest, Michelle is definitely the house favorite in that one.
Yeah.
But he created this image. It's just I don't even know how to explain it, but it was my entry to adulthood. So I don't know. I don't want to say I idolize it, but that's my foundation,
yeah.
that's what I know. I'm remembering when I was a sophomore, with the first campaign, we had to do our own mock election and stuff like that. And we had to try and guess who would win, and we had to do all the statistics behind it, and I was obviously pro Obama, and I had did all the research on him, where he went to school. I wish I remembered all of that, but I don't. But I came out with I researched about him, so I became to admire the person that he was, and the values that he presents. And I like how him and his wife did that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They created they were
But that's
honestly,
what I mean by the show, though.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that Obama did that was not nice and not good, and
correct.
he's very PR prepared.
I
and
mean, looking back on it, I see that, but now what do I have to compare it to? Trump?
Biden.
Biden?
Well, the funny part is Biden.
Again, Obama's still looking pretty damn good to me.
It seems like to me, just by the way you talk, you don't know or consciously know. Hold on one second. Gotta take a pause.
Okay.
Hello.
Work call. All right, we're back to having the day off.
Sorry about that. Never actually have the day off.
That's exactly what I said.
Yeah. So, trying to take care of an elementary school while kids are still in it.
Well, how are kids in school? It's winter break.
They were in it all this week. They're off again. They're young elementary school kids.
Merry Christmas! Time to go back to school, bitches.
Yeah, we did not. We
Fuck
did not
New
have
Year's.
to do that, but it's a
That sucks.
Yeah, it's a
Dude, I bet you those parents are so happy though.
yeah. They get the time off.
Right?
They actually get to relax during the holiday.
Oh yeah, their parents are soaking it up right now.
Yep. Yeah.
Loves that for the parents. Hate that for the kids.
Very true. Back to what I was saying though. Biden was Obama's vice president.
I know, which is why like secretly I had hopes for Biden. However, I knew like that's why I couldn't really comment because like a part of me still had hope that like maybe but like
Picked something up along the way.
yeah, like
Nope.
no, not at all. And like that was just like my biggest fear, but again, that's why I didn't vote in this election either because it's what do? I don't want either one of them to win, and I know I'm a part of the problem, not the cause, and like I totally get that. But it's hard.
Yeah, it definitely is hard. The conspiracy behind it is that when Obama was in office or towards the end of his second term, he had jokingly made the comment to a reporter, "Oh, being president is easy. It's being the face of the president that sucks. That's hard."
Yeah.
So he's like, if I could just sit behind the scenes and pull the strings, and oh, this would be easy.
Yeah. I
And
can see
then
that.
enter 2022, 2021, Biden, 2020, whatever the election year was.
Yeah.
Biden comes in with ties to the Obamas, with seemingly
Like I don't.
very uncontrollable, like, health
I was gonna say
decline.
I hate to say this, but I feel like a lot of people voted for him strictly to try and to hold out hope that he would bring back some of the fundamentals from the Obama term. However, I don't know.
I completely disagree. I think everybody voted for him out of spite.
I mean, I feel like it's 50-50.
Because I feel like there was a majority of people, and the media did a great job at
Yeah, they
getting
just
everyone
did
to
not
turn
want
on
Trump. Yeah.
And I think they pushed people to the point where they said, I don't care who the other guy is. I just don't want them.
But and I like I said, and I also think like a lot of people had the same notion that I did. They were, he was Obama's vice president. Like I don't know.
Yep. Definitely.
Politics suck naturally.
Yeah. Now that money's involved, it's over.
Right.
But all right. So, talking about the new year,
Yes.
what are your 5 personal goals for the new year?
All right. So I've really thought about this one, and
Which, before you get started, actually, I want to point out what I find an hilarious Andrew Tate clip
okay.
where he was talking about how everyone's always waiting, this week after Christmas and New Year.
Yeah.
They're like, everyone's always waiting. They're like, oh, I can't wait to start my New Year resolutions. I'm so excited, yada, yada. I'm going to change this. That is literally the week with nothing scheduled, no plans. Everyone has it off. No one generally has to do anything on a time schedule. And yet everyone postpones starting their transformation. It's the biggest scam ever.
I mean, I completely agree with
If
you.
you want to change, you'd change at Christmas.
If you want to change at any point in your life.
Very true.
However, I think it's not. I think the concept of the New Year resolution is not that of what you said, but more or less those people who cannot change or find it hard to change throughout the year. It gives, and I hate to say this because this is so not me, but it gives America that reminder. It gives people that, hey,
It's a hope.
you just, it's kind of like a force. Like, oh, hey, New Year's resolution. Again, it's all about willpower. So this kind of gives people a force to bring themselves willpower. Whether those people keep it and they continue with their resolutions, that's completely up to them. However, it gives them that chance to better themselves,
I see that, but I think it's more of a false sense of hope because in the end,
Correct.
the
These
amount
people
of people who don't follow it are just.
I was going to say, these are the same, like, listen, love my dad, but every year my dad goes and gets gym membership. My dad probably goes to the gym 4 times a year. Like,
yeah.
you
He has
know?
like spurts where he'll go every week for a month, and then he just won't go for a month or 2.
Yeah. So, but, and again, this last year, I've been focusing really hard on my willpower, so I feel like, and I didn't really have any resolutions now last year because my resolution was just to live and get through the day, like it was
Yeah.
just come back from everything that I had been through before that. So that was really my resolution last year. And I think that a lot of that is willpower. I created a structure, a life for myself. And those are things that only takes willpower and, strength to do. So I feel like going into this year, if I really put my mind to something, like these resolutions, like I feel more confident this year than I have any other year being able to follow through with them throughout the year.
Nice. So, going into that and diving deeper, what are your
My number one, which will also be my hardest, is procrastination.
Yep.
However, I do find that some of my best work comes out of procrastination.
You mean having a deadline?
Yeah.
Yep.
And
You
pushing that deadline.
work under pressure.
I work very well under pressure. So
Yeah,
I
but
want to try and
it's a double-edged sword,
I was
though.
going to say, I want to try and minimalize like things that I shouldn't procrastinate. And again, I have to kind of decide, pick and choose because, like, again, certain things I do very well under pressure.
Yeah.
But things in my life, like, and I've been back in New England for 4 months now. And why is this thing still in my arm? Because I'm procrastinating the shit out of it.
Yep.
And my body is slowly being destroyed in the process. So,
Yep.
that's one of the things. Like, I have a list of things that I want to do. So it's just getting that. And, like, those could be my New Year's resolutions, but those aren't resolutions. Procrastinating is because that would fix everything.
Yeah, it's one umbrella that covers majority of things.
Correct. So no more procrastinating. So,
Okay.
and, I got 3 weeks off in January. So time to make moves.
Yeah, it's good.
So, all right. How about one for you? We'll
My
go back and forth.
Yeah, my biggest personal goal is to separate work and personal.
It's a solid goal.
Because right now, my work is pretty much everything. I come home, I live, I breathe, whatever work calls, I answer the phone.
As you just saw.
Yes, point taken. So, for me, although I'm in a really, I hate to say a high position, but the position I'm in at my company, at this company, is really
Well, your middle management.
yeah. There's the management that relies on me to make sure that the people below me do what they're supposed to do.
And then the people below you rely on you to set a good example.
And get the information they need to do
They
their
need-
job
yeah.
properly. Like at the end of the day, I work with a lot of really great guys, and they all just want to get the job done and have fun. And a lot of them, their biggest frustration is just not having the tools or resources necessary to do the job, which is absolutely in my control. So, my goal is really to get better at my work so that I can make my work only during work time,
Well,
and that I don't have to worry about it after hours.
I think time management plays a big role into that too.
Yeah, which I've been
Because
working on
if
over
you
time.
can manage, your work time efficiently, then you won't feel as obligated to come home and work as well.
So the only problem with
Again,
that,
I don't work with you though, so I'm just speaking out of experience.
No, and that's very true. But the only problem with that is that doesn't apply when work has a overabundance amount of quantity to it. So if you're still drowning over 1,000 things, being more time management efficient doesn't help.
I was gonna say I do know your department is like
Yeah,
literally
I mean
so-
we're like 5-6 people trying to sell $4.5 million worth of things.
Speak of the devil.
Yeah.
Should we put on speaker?
No.
Hey, Dad. All right. Well, just so you know, I have to leave for work at 3:30. I don't know. 37 minutes.
I'm gonna cut all this, by the way,
That's fine.
because I didn't want them knowing where we worked.
Oh, I didn't realize that was the reason why. Okay. All right. Well, technically we didn't say anything.
Hmm?
Technically we didn't say anything.
He did.
What did he say?
He said Valley.
Did he?
He did twice.
What a jackass.
I mean, that's why I said don't put it on speakerphone.
Yeah, I didn't think that was. I just thought you just didn't.
You never put people on speakerphone during the holiday times, someone's birthday, or on a podcast, unless you know what they're going to talk about,
Yeah,
or you're okay with whatever they say.
they say.
So in that case, I was trying to be conspicuous, but
It's okay.
just do a quick pause here.
Thank God it's not live.
Yeah, it's true. And right now I'm recording it in the right format to edit it and post it right away, so we should be able to do it with Premiere and everything. But all right, let's do a clap and come back in. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
All right. So the second resolution for me, probably. All right. So procrastination was number one. Now the rest of them are in no order. So I would probably. So by the end of the year, I want to have some kind of investment portfolio.
Okay.
Small,
That's good.
small, large, whatever it may be. I mean, my goal is at least I want to put in at least $5,000 by the end of the year.
That's good. That's a good goal.
I really want it more. However, I got a lot of things I got to purchase this year, so it would just be an unrealistic goal, and I would continue to procrastinate other things, which again defeats the purpose of my resolution number 1. So I just lowered my goal and made it a realistic one.
Easier to hit within a year.
Correct.
Yeah, and that's good.
So I want to put in at least $5,000 into some kind of portfolio investment, stocks, whatever it may be.
Yeah, that's really good. I know the other big thing for me too is the money aspect and getting a savings, really, because I have enough money coming in to handle what goes out, but there's not enough money to actually squirrel away enough that's worth squirreling away.
Well, let's be honest, Zach. You and I share a similar trait, and unfortunately, we get this from our father. However, we like to spend.
Yeah, but so what I've talked to Megan about, how I spend my money, is not based off of how much money I have. It's based off how happy I am with what I bought.
Yeah, but that's not life. I used to, listen, I still,
But there's a difference. I don't ever go broke or don't pay my bills because of the decisions I've made.
okay, I don't do that anymore.
I wasn't referring that to you. In
I know.
general, the problem with what I'm saying is people will spend their last dollar and not be able to pay their rent.
Yes.
All my bills are paid on time, and I get the toys I want. I just don't have the extra money for when something happens.
But here's the thing, and this actually leads into another one of mine, because one of mine is I'm notorious for buying expensive purses.
You just buy dumb shit.
Okay, what you think is dumb? And
5 purses are dumb.
okay, but I think your stupid $400 virtual golf is dumb.
Yeah, but what if it helps me practice and then win a tournament, which brings me 2K? You'd
Okay,
be
but
like, holy shit, you just won $2,000. How
Okay,
did you
but
do that?
but prove that it was the virtual thing. Prove that there's like, what is that? For what I see, Zach,
practice. This
but
device
what-
is for practice.
I get that, but what's the difference from the fancy computer that just tells you your results digitally, or the thing that I got you for Christmas?
The thing that you got me for Christmas
Either way, it'll still help you improve
only
your
helps
swing.
if you play golf with it. You understand? If I put that in my living room and I hit with that, it doesn't help me with golf.
It helps you with the fundamentals, your swing
No,
and everything.
it helps me when I go on a golf course. I put that down. I put the ball on top of it, and then I hit, because then I can auto-correct for what I just hit, where it went, and what I saw from the mat.
Okay, so
So I'm
then
not actually hitting a ball. If I'm not actually aiming for a target, it's all the data's useless. Having this simulator has all the data for me to be able to say, okay, I hit a ball 50 yards. I'm still 20 yards away. I need to hit it harder. I need more loft. I need to go down, go up a wedge.
but I just think that's stupid.
Yeah, because you don't ever put time into something that, like, practice in, practice out, right?
I mean, I do. I put times into and this is where we differ.
Into
'cause
researching a purse.
what? No, into like my arts. I mean, look, my arts and crafts station.
You ever sold an arts and crafts station? You ever sold anything from your arts and crafts?
But what are you
everything-
gonna sell from your simulator?
I'm not going to sell it. It's going to save me money from going to the simulator.
Okay, well, however, and I haven't made money yet, but I can.
You can. I've spent over $600 at the simulator in Glastonbury.
I don't know.
So spending $400 on a thing to
Okay.
allow me to do it at home,
Fine.
like, I understand
Hold
your
on, we're-
argument
no,
here,
we're
but it's
gonna-
unvalid.
We're gonna okay. He says that, but we're gonna go full circle. All right, I'm going full circle on you, and I'm gonna simply say that these purses make me happy. Now, I would like to revert back to just about 3.5 minutes ago, where Zachary says that he measures his purchases as long as his bills are paid, rent is due. You know, he can buy the things that make him happy. Now, my bills are paid, my rent is paid. So I'm buying the things that make me happy.
Very fair. At least my things that make me happy have alternate utilities.
All right. Well, that's a different story for a different time. I just would like to say that I'm still partially right.
You're on the right track to being right.
Which, again, that is a part of my New Year's resolution.
See,
is I'm
you-
going to start buying things that I need, not necessarily want. So I'm going to give myself, I'm giving myself 3 wants a year.
Can I just adjust your theory, not your theory, your projection of your mentality real quick, because you could absolutely be right if you took the craft station and built yourself a purse that looked like the one you wanted.
Okay, well, I don't have a 3D maker, and I'm not a seamstress, okay?
I mean, all that you can learn.
First of all, no, because Michael Kors is just too beautiful. Sorry. He
How do you
makes me
think
happy.
Michael Kors started?
Yeah, but I don't got the time for that. I don't have the interest.
How many Netflix episodes you watch a day?
Well, I'm actually watching Disney Plus now.
Even
So-
worse, woke bullshit. I hate Disney. If we want to change subjects real quick, I have become completely
Okay.
anti-Disney.
We will hold that because we still have
Okay, yeah, New Year's resolution.
Yep.
Sorry, we're gonna post that. We're gonna get some more research in, and you're gonna come back because you were pro Disney as a kid, right? You were all
I'm
about.
still pro Disney.
Oh yeah, I'm anti-Disney. So
I'm so pro Disney.
we're gonna do a Disney debate.
All right, Disney
That will
debate.
be episode number 7, everybody.
Disney debate.
So what's your
I'm
resolution number
so
3?
Excited. Well, again, so my second one was the finance, and my third one is to start buying things that I need, not necessarily that I want, and I need to stop relying on objects and expensive things to make me happy. So I'm giving myself 3 wants this year.
Nice. How do you classify a want and a need though? Because if you lose your purse and then another fancy purse comes up and you're like, oh, I need this because I don't have a purse now, you're going to count that
But-
as a need, not a want.
No, because I have 3 more in my closet,
Good answer. Good answer.
and 2 of them I just bought this year,
God damn it.
literally within the last 4 months. So,
See, it's like the same thing with people who buy shoes.
oh, you don't want to see my shoes,
Yep, there you go. You're double whammied with that one.
but that's why it's part of my New Year's resolution.
Good.
Only 3 wants this year.
Good.
So, what about you?
My third one would be I've already been stepped back from social media
Yep.
very well. I mean, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, I really rarely use. I think my third one would be to finally get rid of them and move away from having them on my phone.
Bold move there, Cotton.
Yeah. The biggest one is YouTube because I
Oh,
find
yeah.
myself so addicted to just consuming content on there because it's what I've done since I was literally a child.
And I
Was-
don't even watch YouTube.
which I find hilarious, right?
Yeah.
Because like your YouTube doesn't exist for you in a
It
sense.
doesn't. That wasn't a part of my generation, really.
And then I grew up learning like YouTube was my school.
Yeah,
Go to school, come home and learn more from that.
right.
So it's like for me,
I mean, you have to think about my generation. Like we had the OG Vine, you know, like so these
yeah,
little apps. This is what we're used to because we had Vine. You know, that was our outlet. Where your
Tumblr. And
yeah, exactly. Where yours was YouTube.
Yeah. The only problem with YouTube now is it's less like there was a very big divide between informational and learning
Yeah.
and things that were like instructive to entertainment content. Like it has turned hardcore,
I mean, that's how I feel about Twitter. I used to go to Twitter for all of my news.
which I find hilarious because now that
Musk.
yeah, Elon owns it, it's like the most honest place to be at.
I mean, yes and no. The thing is a lot of these people are now holding back. They're sensitizing their content.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. He's unsensitized it.
No, but he can't unsensitize something that somebody posts.
No,
know,
but that's
But what I'm saying is now people are specifically choosing how they word things because of that.
see,
Do you Twitter?
I know so much about it, but I've never used it.
Okay, so you can't really say
So
much
I
until
can
you
speak
use
to it because I'm followed with all of the Twitter leaks. I've followed with all of this.
And
Twitter
I-
before Elon
I checked
was
Twitter.
the most filtered platform on the internet. Any person who was liberal got shushed. Any person who said something that someone else didn't like, they could call Twitter and get them shushed.
Okay, but
That can't happen right now. If you went on there and said, fuck Joe Biden, you're not going to get in trouble because that is legal free speech.
Okay,
That wouldn't have happened before.
okay.
So to say people are holding themselves
No,
back,
no.
that's their own fault because they're not
Again,
open to what freedom really is.
I don't go to Twitter. I go to Twitter for that's when CNN. You know,
those are the
Daily
people who are
News.
lying to your face, Joe. If you really believe media is on your side, you
I
are
don't.
as blind as a blind person can be.
I don't, but when I need to find something, that's my first go-to. At
Yeah.
least it was.
So
I mean, shit, Zach, I've been banned from Twitter twice.
yeah, before though, you wouldn't be
I wa-
banned
yeah,
now
before.
because you would have said something that their guidelines would have said was inappropriate.
No, because I'm not gonna lie, the shit that I did say should not be out on public. Things should not be out like that.
But there's guidelines for that. You cross the guidelines, you get pulled off.
But as a human, as society now, those guidelines may be on Twitter, but they're not out there in the world. So it gives people that feeling that ego that they can do it.
But like you look at it as a like Twitter is a wide scale, public is a smaller scale. It's the opposite. I go in public and I say, "Fuck you, you piece of shit scumbag." No one can do anything. If I go on social media and I say, "Fuck you, you piece of shit scumbag," they're gonna block me.
No, and that's the point. Because you should not be doing that. That's not
Freedom of speech should
I
carry over to all platforms.
I understand the Constitution. However,
You want to
people
ignore it?
people need to stop using the Constitution as a reason to hate on humans. Humans are meant like we're loving creatures. Like I just don't understand. Like this is why that
We're not
everybody's so
loving creatures.
angry. It's because guess what? Somebody gave and it's not about I respect somebody's freedom of speech. I do. It's when people abuse the concept of freedom of speech to get their own personal agenda across.
But that's what CNN does.
Okay, we're all right.
So,
I was wrong about the Twitter thing. We're on a deeper subject now. Okay, I'll admit that I'm wrong, but this, like, society has corrupted human instinct so wrong, and people are they're going, oh well, the Constitution said we have freedom of speech. It's just like a church using the Bible to create a form.
See, you still look at it though from the fact that it's like, oh, there's a bad guy using freedom of speech to say what he's allowed to say.
No, I respect the concept of freedom of speech, Zachary, originated with the idea for press that people could share the truth and not get.
Why though? Because the press was being murdered and oppressed for sharing the truth.
Okay, but look where we are now that people can't even go to CNN or the New York Times and trust the information. Why? Because human nature, the people who are naturally supposed to be loyal, telling the truth, are now. Why? Because society gave them the idea that it is okay.
You have too much trust.
No, I hate how society has like that is my biggest. We are humans.
It's
Why
not
can't
society?
Yes, it is.
No, it's everything else. Society has done right. Think about this. Be it Black Lives Matter. You have people who are saying, "Oh, it's not that Black Lives Matter. All lives matter." I get they're oppressed, but why are we just focusing on them? And then they do some crazy shit. The money doesn't go to black people.
Fun fact, actually, the trademark Black Lives Matter was owned by a white person.
My point exactly. So was that society's problem? You think society just went crazy and said, "Oh, no, let the white man control us and make a whole thing"? No, that's not how that worked. That is the bigger agenda. That is what CNN happened. That's what they do. It's society that comes out and says, "No, everyone deserves a chance to be equal, free, loved, and cared for."
Okay.
And it's the agendas that say no. Society is the one fighting. Like, you're on society's side, and you're saying society's the one fucking everybody up. No, it's the agendas behind the scene that are turning people against each other.
Okay, so I would like to say I looked up the meaning of society, right? And it's people living together in a more or less ordered community.
Yep.
That is literally what America is.
Yeah, but it's only under order from the Constitution.
Do you realize some of these other countries do not even have half of the issues that we do?
Are you dumb?
No, but their issues are real. Like, I would rather be fighting. All right, no, this is going to sound stupid.
Yeah,
but
you better backpedal.
But I would rather us be having to fight the concept of, and I don't wish this on Americans. This is not, but like, as humans, I feel disgusted having that my biggest argument right now is freaking Kanye West.
No one cares.
Like, why are people not, like, it's just, I don't know.
See, you're still like tunnel visioned, and all you see is social media news and press news and information news. You have not looked outside the bigger picture. But people on a daily basis are kind to each other. People on a daily basis help each other. Jordan, yes, they are. You lived in Georgia, and every drive-thru you went to, they said, "Yes, thank you, please, have a wonderful day." They were very kind. What you are seeing is the toxicity that social media promotes.
But see, here's the thing, Zach. And
that's not society.
I literally work with people every single day. I've worked in the service industry for the last almost 10 years.
Where people go and get drunk and act shitty in front of public?
No, because I've worked in restaurants. I've worked in high-end places. I've worked, different types of events. I've worked every possible concept. Right? I've been to and I've visited every, different types of places.
And you're going to tell me you're going to compare society to the few bad customers you've had?
No, it's not. It's not that. It's anybody can raise their kid to say please and thank you, right? But it's the fact that you're raising, like, your kid throws something on the ground and you pick it up and they say thank you. No, your kid should not be, you're a grown adult, should not be throwing the shit on the ground to begin with.
I think you'd have never experienced being a parent in the way that they're dealing with it, especially when the point is like we have a record-breaking number of single parents who don't have the stability in the house to raise the kid the right way. And that's not society's fault.
Honestly, it is. I'm going to go with yes.
So
and
are all your problems society's fault?
No, but listen.
It's their fault the guy ran out on them?
No, but these should, the problem is that society has normalized having kids at young age. I am sorry. But you cannot, no offense, you and Megan are perfect. Like, you guys are kind of the exception to this. But you cannot fall in love when you're literally going through puberty, be with that person and think, oh, 22, we've been together for, 6 years? Let's get married and have a kid. No, because your frontal lobe doesn't even develop until you're 25. So, yeah, we have all these single parents. Why? Because everyone's like, oh, you can have kids and get married at a young age. No, when I was growing up, that shit was 30. Like, no one, And now it's like I'm not even 30 and I'm looked down upon because I don't have a husband, because I don't have a kid.
Yeah, but you don't also understand the fact that
And that's why
generations got older, the younger generation had to come up faster. Like, that's completely out of your mind, and you were in the generation where you were stuck in the middle. You either jumped ahead and became like the Gen Zs where you made millions of dollars at age 18,
I grew up
or you
too
grew
fast.
up to be the 35-year-old who still hasn't had a kid.
It does.
But that's your fault. You didn't choose to go down that path. It's not society forcing you that way.
Yeah, but you can't. But
And
what
most
I'm
of
saying
society understands that being a realistic human understands that you make a decision,
but
and
why
whether
do
that's
you
to
need
be with someone at 22,
But why do you feel
stick
like
with
you
that.
need to have a kid at 22? Why?
Most of them don't feel that way. It happens on accident.
But why? Because they're irresponsible. Because they are comfortable with the person they're with, and they're like, oh, birth control. Who cares if we get pregnant? We at least love each other. And
Isn't
then
that the
6 months
beauty of
down-
having your own choices and freedoms? Is to fuck up?
It's,
Like, I'm so
but
torn with how your
now
argument
you're
is here.
calling all these single mom fuck ups, right? So that's what you're saying, that all these single people.
That was a gotcha point. You're saying that they're being irresponsible, and I made the comment that you think that they fucked up.
I don't think that
because
they
they were
fucked
being
up.
irresponsible.
I don't.
That's kind of the point you made.
No, I don't think that they fucked up because I love.
But you don't think they should be doing it. They're being irresponsible. But those were your words, Jordan.
I do. I think that they're.
And that very well could have been your future. And
I mean,
yet
it
you're
should have
just
been.
like,
I was one of the most irresponsible people out there.
And why didn't it happen?
Dumb
Your
fucking
irresponsibility did not lead to having a kid. Being irresponsible doesn't lead to having a kid at 22.
But what I'm saying, Zach, and I've seen a lot of these people, right? And again, as a waitress, as a bartender, you hear people lives, a lot of people's stories. So you have to keep in mind that when I speak from this, I speak with a lot of knowledge of other people's stories.
I also don't fully trust people being honest with a bartender or a waitress. You're talking about
But
a
it's
public
not-
place where
but
people are
it's
going to
not
start
just-
talking
but
about the truth and the
No,
honesty.
it's not
they're
just
going to give you a
It's
skewed
not
perspective.
just the customers. It's how many coworkers that I have.
You work in the service industry. That is one field. And you're comparing it to all of society. You have not even lived in society. You don't understand what it's like to not be outside of your bubble, Joe. You've always had your bubble. Pop your bubble, go into someone else's friend group, and understand what it's like to have no family. Understand what it's like to have 17 families. Understand what it's like to have no money. Understand what it's like to be rich. Everybody has the same struggles, and that's society. Not you being unresponsible, or a 22-year-old getting pregnant, or someone hit and running somebody because they don't know what to do and they're scared and they run. That's just fucking life. That's the beauty of having a brain that allows you to make your choice. And what's beautiful about that is that even the people who fuck up always come back and say, I can do better. I want to do better.
And I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that, like,
that's humanity. The ability to do bad and do well. Do both. Why we have wars and then yet fucking go out and spend billions of dollars to help third world countries.
let's just look at something right now.
I just feel like you're so skewed on, like,
I'm not. I'm really not.
society is not bad.
So,
Humans want to be good.
as of October 2021, approximately 1.76 million people in America are on welfare.
And that's not a lot. And also, I don't think welfare is a good thing either.
But these single people, these people that are coming back, that's the majority of your people on welfare. Don't get me wrong. The people who do come
It's
back,
not, though. Because half the people who are coming back don't want to ask the government for help. The people who are on welfare are the
See-
people who know how to use the system.
see, and
'Cause
that's where again, and you and I will just agree to disagree because you and I have lived very separate lives. And you say I've stayed in a bubble. However, truthfully, Zach, I mean, I'm gonna.
If I'm in a bubble, I'm in a bubble that's rising. Like, I don't understand how
I
you're
mean,
gonna say I'm in a bubble that's closed off.
I mean, you.
I've reached into every other bubble to climb my way to the top. And look where I am now. Able to say I'm 25 and ready to have a kid.
Well, and but here's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Zach. You and Megan, you guys are
But
the
I'm
exception.
not the exception.
There's not.
dozens, hundreds, there's millions of people out there like me. You don't see us because we have our heads down working. You don't see us because we don't care about the limelight.
But
That's not what being a human is getting all the glory and the fame.
and I'm not saying that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying in my experience, the majority of the people that I have come, and I have, again, Zach, I've been in a lot of places,
Your experience. My point exactly.
but I've lived outside of Connecticut. I've been to
And would you say from Georgia
a
to
dozen,
Connecticut?
but I've been to a dozen states, Zach. I spent time in.
I'm not saying traveling doesn't. The bigger point.
But
I'm
when
trying to
I
get
travel,
at,
I'm not a tourist. When I travel, I go to places with people who are from that place. So I go and I live like the locals.
Yeah.
I don't go and I don't stay in a hotel. No, I go and stay at my friend's house.
Okay, I'm not sure where this is relatable.
Because I'm not, like, when I go to these places, because you were saying, traveling doesn't kind of count. But it does, because I'm not a tourist when I travel. When I travel,
If
I
you're
go
not from there, you're a tourist.
But when I go there, I
Because
don't.
you don't do normal tourist attractions does not make you a tourist.
A tourist is just, but you're right, because it is just
Again, but
it's
that's
just a saying. But
that's logistics of it. But I get what you're saying. The point is, though, you had your life here, and if you compare it to your life there, were they very different? Besides location and who was there, you still had the same struggles. You had still similar outcomes. You still had similar bumps along the way. The point is when you figure out really like again, part of the New Year's resolution, like you said, procrastinating, all these things. When you figure out those are problems, when you become meta aware, it doesn't take a year to change that. So the people who aren't 25 and haven't fully developed, who are meta aware, have been working on their problems internally for a long time. And there's so many of those people out there, they just don't give a fuck to deal with the bullshit and show themselves. And I don't think you have enough experience with genuine kindness and genuine good people, especially since you work in an industry where everyone kind of shits on you. Literally, your job is to pick up my dirty dishes and then bring me my food. Like, not to demean that, but that's how a lot of people who have money look at the service industry.
Tell that to your wife the next time she cooks your dinner and cleans up.
Why do you
plates.
think I have to, like, don't get me wrong, I understand. That's why I clean up the plates every time after dinner she makes it. So when she wants a snack in the middle of the night, I go and get it. When there's steak, I cook it. When I know how to cook something, I do it because I understand what she does for me. I appreciate that. We always leave more than 20%. She's taught me that because of what you guys do. I, like you said, I'm not a part of that majority, but there are a majority of people who do not respect you guys. So what you deal with is not always everybody. It's just those fucking assholes.
And the reason why those people don't respect us is because those people can't seem to understand. And again, I've worked in both the service industry and in professional businesses, so I feel like that.
I think it's an economic thing. Fast food came along, and it was just get in line, give me my food, here's my money, get the fuck out of here.
Correct. But when you come in and you sit down into a restaurant, especially a nice fancy restaurant where I'm forced to wear black, nice pants, really nice shoes, the ones that you can't get at Walmart, a black shirt that you have to buy at Macy's.
The restaurant has such a high standard where the people who come in are trash.
Correct. And it's because, and these are the people that are in these corporate worlds, and I can relate it to them, So again, how would you like it if let's just talk about somebody in a generic business role, right? So let's say this person is, how would you like it if I came into their work and every time they printed a paper that they needed, I took it out? So they couldn't really they could probably do their job, but they couldn't do it to the fullest advantage because there is somebody just pulling.
I mean, that's sabotage.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what these people don't realize. That's what they're doing to us because as the server, every table is a new experience. You know what I mean? Like for me at least, I don't let the last table affect my next table.
Yep.
So, but when not you, but when you as a customer come out and you're automatically rude to me, you're making it very hard for me to do. You're sabotaging me
Yeah.
by making me do my job because
Absolutely.
I'm trying to be nice to you and you are making it hard as hell.
I miss the days where it was like the family had a really good week and the dad goes, I'm taking everyone out to Texas Roadhouse. And it was them having a polite family dinner.
Because they were grateful.
They were. I miss those days.
I
I
agree.
think part of where we can blame society for that is we grew way too big. We got to a point where we needed more efficiency. And instead of keeping the, I just had the word. Instead of keeping like the family mentality and keeping it as an experience to keep the family there, they're just worried about getting you in, getting you out. Especially with this whole staffing issue, there's not enough staff to do the job, which means you guys are doing twice as much work
correct
for not as much pay. You know what I mean? It's like the whole thing. The fact that the restaurant and service industry are still working based off tips, I think, is step number one.
And that's what a lot of people don't understand. Like when these people are like, "Oh, you forgot my ketchup." All right, well, I have a 6-table section. I've been here for 8 hours already. I haven't eaten a single thing. I'm sorry I forgot your one ketchup.
And yet they go to their accounting job and their boss is like, "Where's this report? I need it last week." And you're like, "I've barely started it."
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah,
people
I totally agree with you.
but that's what I'm saying. Like most people cannot see the two connection. And it's like that's how I make my money. So and what you said is actually a perfect example. So for every time you don't get a report or you're late on something, oh, you have to have this by my office at 5. At 5:01, I'm taking $10 an hour off of your.
If that's how everyone else worked, they'd hate their lives.
How do you think we feel?
And I agree. That's what
and
I
yet
get.
we're still happy and chippy, and we still are eager to serve you guys for our maybe 20% tip.
But I still bet if there was a statistic, I bet you it would be majority of people who go to restaurants are respectful. They are nice. They understand what you're going through. There's still, since there's trillions of us on this earth, there's still millions of fucking dicks.
I mean,
like as much as that's terrible to say, that's the reality. Like there's always going to be really good people. There's always going to be really bad people. That's the reality of having a free world.
Correct. Which is why it's easy for me. Like I can stay neutral. Like I can stay neutral with the table. Like most servers, they can't control their emotions. So if there's a table that's pissed them off,
they go back and they start complaining.
Correct. But my manager, she used to love to give me like if a host pissed the table off, my manager would be like, put them. I don't care where you sit them, give them to Jordan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why? Because I'm very neutral. Like I don't let the situation. I'm gonna give you the best service I can give you because that speaks on who I am.
Yep.
Now, if you don't reciprocate, that speaks on who you are. Where I run into the issue is I see so many people who it's the little things for me. And it's like, again, I can deal with one rude person, because I truly believe you don't know the type of day somebody's having. Because me, myself, I'll go out and I know that I'm giving a resting bitch face. And that's not how I feel,
Yeah, but that's never okay for someone to be like, "Where's my fucking drink, you slow fuck?"
Correct. But it's when, like, more and more people are doing, like, the littlest things, It's when, like, when people used to see, oh, she's running around like crazy. She forgot our ketchup. Hey, just so you know, again, I would rather, because I'll check on my tables. I do a 2-bite check back. I do, another 3 minutes after that. So I would rather be like, oh, my ketchup, please, instead of waiting till the very end. Because guess what? I will stop whatever I'm doing and I will get your ketchup or whatever it is that you're missing. Like, that's why I always check on my tables right after, because I know that I'm juggling a lot of different things. And especially at my old job, where, like, and there really wasn't, like, lead servers or, like, keys or anything. But it's like, I was a trainer. So even when I wasn't training, I was only one of 3 trainers. So, and I always worked. I was always there.
Yeah.
So everybody would come to me. Like my managers, they would sit in the office and they would hand me their key and be like, "Don't worry, Jordan's got it." Because I went through the manager training. I did all that. So not
you
only
were
was
trusted and responsible.
Correct.
So my follow up to that is, how many, like, do you think it's a 5-to-1 ratio of servers to customer? Like think about one server handles a table, whether it's 4 or 6 people. It's one table to one server, right?
No, most servers have 3 table sections.
So it'd be like what, a 9-to-1?
I mean, it varies because so at my old restaurant, it all depends on because
Well, I guess the larger picture I'm trying to get at here is There's
So
a higher statistical number of servers and waitresses and bartenders and anyone in the service industry than there would be number of tables per person.
so I think the most, and I refer to them by like heads. So the most heads I've had at once is 52.
And that could be like 10 tables.
It was 2 large parties and 2 medium-sized parties.
So I guess in the end, what I'm trying to get at is there a skew where in the entire United States are there more service workers on all service levels than there are people needing service?
No, it's so low.
So then to expect the under majority to perform for the majority even on a bad day doesn't give anyone the right to act that way. Right? Because look at it the same way as like a race war. It's only a war when it's even.
Well, and again, my thing is
If it's that skewed,
I'm not completely anti-customer, because I'm a good portion of you is anti-server too, because, and I see a lot of these people that come in, and again, as a server, the one thing I try to like teach people when I train them is like, whatever you give to this table, they will give back most likely at some point. You know what I mean? So even if they're mean as all hell in the beginning, if you keep being nice,
it'll come back around.
it'll come back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's the second, like I've seen somebody who was kind of rude to their table. I mean, he was kind of a rude server naturally, but and the table like left him like $0 or maybe 5%. It was really low, and he followed them out the restaurant. Like your other tables are seeing that. Whatever you put into one table is what you have to put into all the tables, and you have to stay in that rhythm,
Yep.
and it will come back to you. People always get mad because like we'll have a slow night. At my old job, we'll have a slow night, and there'll be 5 servers on, and I'll make 3 times as much. And be like, why? Why? Because I stay in the mood, and it comes back to me. These people see that no matter, because people do.
They do notice things.
They do notice, and they're like, oh shit, I guess I am kind of acting like a dick.
So how do you feel when a customer gathers all the dirty stuff and puts it together? So it's just for you come over, you just pick up one stack and walk away.
That's a love-hate relationship for me.
Why?
Because some people don't stack it right. So then I pick it up and everything goes everywhere.
Well, okay. So for the people who realize big at the bottom, small at the top.
Yes, love that.
Silverware
Big
shoved
fan.
in on the side. Like,
big fan.
So
because again, as a server, one thing that I do, and granted, let's rewind a little bit. Majority of my tables would not have to do that because as a good server, you should pre-bus your table. So the only thing that should be left on that table is napkins and cups and maybe a dessert.
Which that is a huge people don't do.
I was gonna say because normally people don't have to put their plates together for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
The minute
pre-bus,
they're done, you've come
I
and
take
grabbed it.
Yep.
See, and that's really good. And a lot of people don't do that because I think in one semblance, the servers like leave them alone, let them do their thing, let them have their time.
Again, I know for me, I don't. Once I'm done, I don't want to put my elbows in some leftover nasty ass shit on my plate.
I agree.
If you're talking with somebody, because that's what dinner should be. Dinner's supposed to be an experience.
And if you have all the shit in your way, it's ruining you.
Correct.
Yeah, I totally agree. One of the things that like I kind of came around with Megan was like, I would always like even now I go to a party and like someone's setting up and we're there for the end of the party. I'm going around cleaning up all the plates, cleaning up all the silverware, putting them away. That's always how I feel like I contribute to servers. Is that Megan's always above the 20% tip. Whoever pays, obviously, she always just puts over 20% tip. And then from me, it's just about making it as quick and convenient for them to move on to their next place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's tough. Like it's bad when like there's been times where I haven't given because I'm an honest server and I'm an honest patron. So like there'll be times where like I don't like I hate it, but like I won't give a server automatic 20%.
You won't?
No,
some of them are terrible.
They're like I was at the one place in like the Eastfield Mall. I don't remember where I was actually, and the girl like we had no refills. I finished my drink before I even got my food. They messed up my food, and like she never came to do a 2-bite check back. Again, I'm a trainer. You know what I mean? If I'm tipping this girl 20%, then what she thinks that she can get away with that.
And I think that's the.
But I'll always write a little note, or I'll always say, hey, like just a FYI. You know what I mean? Like you could do better. Because most people don't realize this, But as servers, we have to hand in our credit card slips at the end of the night. So managers will see that. And I'm big on, again, I don't want anybody, I'll never
I
write,
think that's kind of wrong though.
no, because I'll never write anything mean. I'll just be like, I'll always follow it up with, like, I always started off with a positive. Like, hey,
So for instance, if Gordon Ramsay comes into your restaurant, let's say you're a chef. Yeah. Gordon Ramsay comes in your restaurant and he writes on the napkin, I think you could add more lemon, and sends it into the chef. You think the chef's gonna be like, oh wow, this is very nice of him to help me out?
well, and
Or you think he's gonna be like, who the fuck is he to tell me that I add more lemon to my food? He came to my restaurant. So I see what you're saying, and you're trying to do the right thing by helping them improve.
but I'm not like a
But-
regular patron. You know what I mean? And again, how I word it, and I'm
I'm sure
was
you
a
do it the right
restaurant-
way. But like,
I was a restaurant manager, so like I've been through all of this.
yeah, I just imagine going to like a random Olive Garden, and like the waitress getting a letter being like, who the fuck does she?
But again,
to
if
tell me
you-
to bring out the garlic bowls
Well,
earlier.
And I never say, like, the girl at the restaurant that I was just talking about. All I put was like, hey, just don't forget drink refills next time. I put like, loved your spirit. Just try not to forget drink refills next time.
Yeah, see, I take that sarcastically, especially written on a piece of paper. I'm like, don't forget your drink refills next time. Nice.
Don't
spirit.
forget to fill your drink. Like, don't forget to do your drink refills.
Yeah.
But again, I hated not tipping. But how can I condone that? As somebody who is a trainer, how can I condone that?
Yeah.
As somebody who's a manager, I would never want one of my staff to do that.
That's why I think the
How
problem
can I
with the
condone
service
that?
industry is the tipping, is because you guys are almost, not you guys as in you, but like the service industry almost demands people who are willing to just do what's necessary to get the tip, and they don't understand better experience, better tip. So the people who are just like working at Wendy's and then go to work at Olive Garden, they don't have that mentality. They're get the food in, get the food out, get the customer gone. So it's like that industry kind of cultivated not having best service all the time. It
Yeah.
was good servers get rewarded well, bad servers, you got your food at least and come back next time and hope for a better experience. That's not okay.
Yeah.
If we paid servers a salary based off, or maybe even a percentage based off of like business income,
Well, and again,
everyone would want to work together to get more money.
well, and absolutely, and it's like, I mean, in Georgia's rough, but Georgia, we make $2.15 an hour.
Which just devastating.
Yeah.
Even if you bring $300 home a day, $250 an hour is devastating.
Like, we don't get a paycheck. No server ever gets a paycheck.
That's what I think is the problem. Is you guys are literally fending for You might as well be self-employed hustlers. You might as well be an Uber driver
Yeah.
at that point. Like, you're a self-contracted person with no real ties to a company besides the money that you get from tips that
I mean,
they promise to give you.
I struggle with it because
I
don't
know
know.
servers will say, well, that's the only way service industries could work is if they did tips, because otherwise no one would be raising the higher cap. No, they just need to have minimum wage, and you need to actually pay people for being better workers.
Well, see, and I agree, and I agree 100%. However, I do see some of the struggles, like, because as waitresses, we would outrank. I mean, maybe
You should outrank some other industries.
I was gonna say we would literally be,
You're responsible for feeding us, and it's probably a majority of people who go out to eat.
Well, and it's tough because, like, and then from there, if people tip extra, it's like, what if they tip in cash? How do you? It's like the cash concept. So I agree.
Yeah, but I think it's less likely that people are gonna be tipping you $100 cash when they know you're getting paid $300 to work tonight.
right.
Base
Hold on.
pay.
Can we pause real quick?
Well, we're actually at our time, so we should probably wrap it up.
All right, perfect. Sorry, Dad's blowing my stuff up.
No, you're
Does
good.
he?
But thank you everybody for joining in.
Thank
This
you
one
so
got a little
much.
heated about the society of
Right. I was gonna say
America.
I almost got up and walked out at one point. I'm glad that we redirected very well and I calmed down very well. Let's not bring
And
any part of it back up.
Nothing
because
I
I've
said was to
calmed
get to
myself
you,
down.
but you do have to understand no one in this world is out there to get you.
No, and again, there are just certain things, but again, there are certain things that we are going to agree to disagree on, and that's natural. And it's just like I have to accept that I'm never going to be able to change your mind completely, and you're never going to be able to change my mind.
No, that's just part of how we grew up.
Correct. So I just sometimes I forget that, and
I think you could get better at explaining yourself. And I think you could, because my mind's never not changed. I think it's really just about that. But all right, everybody, this was episode number 6. We thank you for tuning in and look forward to our anti-Disney
oh my god,
podcast.
Disney
Yes.
debate.
No. All right, everybody, you have a happy holidays and
Happy New Year.
enjoy your night.
Yay.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.